Adam's back in the kitchen today and we're going to be cooking some pork.
Yes, we're making a pork belly dish today with coconut and tamarind. It's a bit of a sweet and kind of sour sauce, but goes really, really well with pork belly.
One of my favourite cuts of pork, to be honest.
Well, let's get started with our marinade, our sauce, our marinade, this coconut and tamarind sauce that we're making. I've got some shallots here. I'll get started with that. Maybe if you could cut up some garlic for me.
Of course. How many would you like? The whole lot?
5 cloves. Let's use 5 cloves.
3, 4, 5.
We just want to finely slice these shallots. It doesn't have to be too finicky because it's just going to be a rough and rustic sauce that we're making. Pork's such a versatile meat, it takes up a lot of flavours really easily. I'll start our saucepan heating up here. And we might even just whack a bit of oil in there as well. We've got about a tablespoon there of sesame oil.
Okay. So this is a marinade where you heat up, infuse all the flavours together, and then you would cool it down, would you?
We're going to get a bunch of different flavours in there. We're going to boil it all together. We're actually going to reduce it a little bit, and then we'll cool it down.
Great.
So I like it quite hot, so I'm using 3 chilies here, but obviously, you know, you could use 1, you could even leave them out if you didn't like food too hot. We just want to sweat all of this down together. We don't need to get too much colour into it or anything, just cooking them to release some of that moisture.
Right, so that'll take about 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, we'll let it get a bit fragrant.
Great.
We've sweated off these aromatics so they're now really nice and fragrant. We're going to add in our sauces. We've got about 200 mils of fish sauce.
200 mils?
200 mils.
I just registered that then. I was like, whoa!
Don't be scared. We're making a sauce that's going to be used on a lot of pork there, so it's not too overpowering, and plus we can reserve this and save some of it for later.
And we are cooking it down a little bit too.
Of course, of course.
Sorry, did I scare you then?
200 more mils of dark soy sauce.
Okay. Sort of salty, dark soy.
It's as salty, it's a bit thicker, and it's a little bit sweeter as well.
Sweeter.
200 mils of water. Now we need to dilute some of that fish sauce down that you were so worried about. And then we've got 1 tablespoon of tamarind puree. It's a really nice souring element for a lot of these dishes. And then here, about 150 grams of palm sugar. All of that goes in together. We'll bring that to the boil, and then we'll reduce that by about 1/3, and then we'll add in some coconut milk.
Okay.
So Justine, our marinade's cooled down and it's now time to put our pork belly in there.
Okay, so that's some Murray Valley pork there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people get scared of pork belly because they think, you know, what if the skin's not crispy, it's going to be a failure, but I think pork belly is so versatile, we're actually using it without the skin today. So what we'll do is we'll cut it into some sort of fairly thick strips, maybe about 1.5 inches.
Okay.
And this is about 600 grams of pork here, and that's going to be enough for, you know, a small serving for maybe 4 people. And then we'll just pop those straight into the marinade. And, you know, 3-4 hours would be probably the minimum I'd like to leave it in there, but overnight is obviously going to be better. So I've actually popped some in the fridge yesterday, which is probably ready now. So if you could maybe switch those over for me.
Great, I'll do that for you.
So this has been marinating overnight. We'll put some baking paper down on a baking tray, and we'll just lay those out. Doesn't really matter which side up at this point, although I really do generally start with the fat side up, but we will turn them a few times while they're baking.
So how long do we cook that in the oven for?
Well, I'd like to cook it on a fairly high oven, maybe 180, 200 degrees, for half an hour, 45 minutes, because they are fairly small pieces of pork. They will cook quite quickly.
Great, well, I'll pop that in the oven.
Thank you. And Juz, we've got so much lovely flavour in this marinade, we don't want to lose it. We're going to put that back over the stove, make sure we kill any bacteria that's in it, boil it for a few minutes, and we'll use that as a sauce at the end.
Great. That is sensational.
It's all that palm sugar from that marinade giving you that nice caramelisation all over it. So So, pull out a couple of pieces. We'll chop them up into some bite-sized chunks.
Look how soft it is.
It's actually incredibly tender, even if we just roasted it there for about 45
You can
minutes.
just see, just in there, how moist that is. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get the board up.
A special pork dish.
It does look very Southeast Asian, doesn't it?
does, yeah.
But we don't have to be fussy when it comes to Asian food. It's not fine dining, it's just supposed to be tasty. And this is our marinade that we've reduced. 2 spoons of that over.
Yum. Oh.
And there we have it, coconut and tamarind pork belly.
Yummo.